All right. And so for our last segment of the show, we're going to talk about Florida. Ron DeSantis is in the news. He was taken out of context, of course, by a CBS 60 Minutes interview. And this was one that was very interesting because you can just see how egregious this whole thing was. And it was not just deceptively edited. I mean, like the whole thing was taken out of context in a way that even Democrats are not happy about it. And nor is Publix, which is a very reputable grocery store, apparently, over in Florida. And so this first story comes over from thedailywire.com, says Publix and a Democrat state official, they blast absolutely false and offensive CBS 60 Minutes smear of Ron DeSantis. And so this one was, I was shocked, honestly. I'm not shocked anymore, but it's just surprising that the people who draft these stories can be so dishonest, like in your face dishonest. And they know that we're going to find out. They know that the internet knows, but they do it anyways. It's like egregious. Anyways, here's the story. Florida's largest grocery store and a Florida state official who is a Democrat slammed CBS 60 Minutes on Sunday because they aired a deceptive segment about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Segment featured reporter Sharyn Alfonsi, who is just a terrible human, ambushing DeSantis at a press conference last month and aggressively questioning him using a misleading narrative about the way he has responded to the coronavirus pandemic. 60 Minutes deceptively edited the interaction to remove nearly the entire portion of his response, in which he thoroughly answered her question and then diffused the central part of the segment. And so we're going to go through this. We're going to see a transcript of it. We're going to play, I think, the 60 Minutes version. We're going to play the actual version. Then we're going to compare and contrast the transcripts so you can actually see how bad this thing was. And what's so funny about this clip is in the clip, she's like, well, we tried to get an interview with him and he wouldn't answer our questions. And then they clip out like 60 seconds, 2 minutes of his full answer so that she can make the point that he didn't agree to an answer or to an interview. Alfonsi tried to suggest that Publix, the largest grocery store chain in Florida, had engaged in a pay-to-play scheme by donating money to the DeSantis campaign in exchange for being awarded a contract to distribute vaccines in the state. So this reporter comes out, hey, Ron, isn't it true that you got $100,000 from Publix? And then conveniently, Publix is just now running all of our vaccines in our state. Isn't that interesting? You want to answer that there? And DeSantis says, the irresponsible suggestion that there was a connection between campaign contributions made to Governor DeSantis and our willingness to join other pharmacies in support of the distribution efforts is absolutely false and offensive. Oh, this came from Publix. So Publix came out. They said in a scathing statement slamming the segment, we are proud of our pharmacy associates for administering more than 1.5 million doses and for joining other retailers in other states to help emerge from the pandemic. State Representative Jaron Moskowitz, who is a Democrat, also slammed 60 Minutes over the segment, saying DeSantis' office did not push for selecting Publix. Moskowitz is the director of Florida's Division of Emergency Management and has overseen the state's response to the pandemic, including rolling out the vaccine distribution and ensuring masks get to the frontline workers. 60 Minutes, I said this before, I'll say it again, at Publix was recommended by Florida as other pharmacies were not ready to start, said Moskowitz. Period. Full stop. No one from the governor's office suggested Publix. It's just absolute malarkey. So good for this guy who is chiming in, jumping on the back of Ron DeSantis and saying, no, he's doing a good job. We're distributing vaccines. And they're just flat out lying. Here's a copy of that tweet. Here's Jared Moskowitz, who apparently is a Democrat. I said this before. I'll say it again. It was recommended by Florida person. It's absolute malarkey. This is Jared Moskowitz, director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management. He's a Democrat, served as one in the state legislature until 2019, campaigned for Gore, campaigned for Obama. He's not falling for this absolute garbage, and neither should you. So you like to see that. You like it when people from both sides of the aisle come together and recognize what an absolute dumpster fire the state of our media is currently. Here is the clip from 60 Minutes. Here's 1 minute that we've got. Looks like this was spreading around by them on Twitter. 60 Minutes at 60minutes, not .com, on Twitter. Here's their clip. What you're saying is wrong. Governor DeSantis tells Sharyn Alfonsi in response to a question about whether the Publix grocery store chain gained influence through a campaign donation on his behalf. It's wrong. It's a fake narrative, he said. All right, so look, we know it's 60 seconds. We know that they're going to clip things and assemble it together, but this is so dishonest because not only did she go out there and say, well, he refused to answer us. He did. As we're going to see, he gave her a very long answer and everything that she needed. And she is still going to come out here and sort of do this like, woe is me facade that he's not answering our questions when, as we're going to see, he gave her a very long and explicit answer. So here is from 60 Minutes. Here is what this looks like. This is the transcript. So how the wealthy cut the line during Florida's frenzied vaccine rollout. So Ron DeSantis right now is somebody who is capturing a lot of attention. So of course the media is unhappy with him. He's running a very nice state. Florida's open. They're doing well. They're doing great. California, by contrast, had a lot of the opposite mechanisms for dealing with COVID. Everything was locked down, masks all over every single orifice multiple times. Just wrap yourself in bubble wrap because everybody's hyperventilating in fear over there. And their state is about doing the same well as Florida is in terms of total numbers and deaths and all of that stuff. And so people are asking themselves, maybe this whole thing was a sham and a facade. Maybe Ron DeSantis is doing something well here, and he's just poo-pooing every single narrative that Fauci and all of these other hysterics have been screaming about for the last year. So he is enemy number one because he's not in lockstep with the traditional thinking or the traditional narrative. I'm not even sure most Americans follow the narrative anymore, but this is the media narrative. And it's on 60 Minutes, which is one of the most watched shows of this variety that we have in the country. So here is the transcript that they posted. You can see it right here. We'll just go through it quickly. We wanted to ask Governor DeSantis about the deal. He declined our request for an interview. Okay, so he's not answering any questions about this. He must be. Oh, you know, Publix, they donated $100,000 to your campaign. What you're saying is wrong. That's wrong. She says, how is that not pay to play? That's a fake narrative, he says. We think it would be the easiest thing for our residents. Oh, but Melissa McKay, so they cut him out. So this is about all that we get. Let's take a look and let's just underline some of this. We got Ron DeSantis in here. That's his sentence. Then we have, that's a fake narrative. I said, we think it would be the easiest. So all of this is him. Okay. Then the rest of this, nope, that's 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes. This is Ron. And this is Ron. No, you're wrong. 30 miles away. You're wrong. Yes, sir. Okay. So we see what that looks like. Now, here is the full answer. Okay, so it goes from about one paragraph, like right here, really, into this full paragraph. We can see it right here. Okay, it's a lot of answer there. And what you'll notice is what they clipped out is the stuff that is not in bold. The full unedited video shows 60 Minutes cut out everything in bold from the transcript. Pretty wild. This posted over by Jerry Dunleavy. Give him a follow. So all of this stuff in bold was clipped out, which means that this stuff underlined here in red is what they left in. So they actually, this wasn't like they just clipped the beginning or the end off, right? And I do video editing here. You notice this. I've been posting the Derek Chauvin clips. What do? I leave the whole thing in there. I don't clip out the first 30 seconds, remove the next 30 seconds, and then add in the remaining 30 seconds and take everything out of context. I leave it all in there. I'll clip off the beginning. I'll clip off the end. Sometimes I speed it up. Sometimes I'll add a gray box for a little bit of dignity in there. That's it. What this person did, what this organization did, is they clipped out, they just said, oh, we like this sentence right here. We're going to take that sentence. Oh, the rest of this is pretty explanatory. Okay, we're going to clip out this section. And then we don't like this. We don't like this part here. So we're going to clip that out too. And we're just going to jump over to another sentence and we're going to splice that back in. So they're just taking little bits and pieces out of a full paragraph and they're reassembling it in a way that makes him look kind of like a jerk. Can you believe that? This is from a reputable journalist on a national program in 2021 right now. They're trying to pass this off as real news. This is, I think, the full clip from Ron DeSantis.
So first of all, what you're saying is wrong. That's a fake narrative. So first of all, when we did the first pharmacies that had it were CVS and Walgreens, and they had a long-term care mission. So they were going to the long-term care facilities. They got vaccine in the middle of December. They started going to the long-term care facilities the third week of December to do LTCs. So that was their mission. That was very important, and we trusted them to do that. As we got into January, we wanted to expand the distribution points. So yes, you had the counties. You had some drive-through sites. You had hospitals that were doing a lot. But we wanted to get it into communities more. So we reached out to other retail pharmacies, Publix, Walmart. Obviously, CVS and Walgreens had to finish that mission. and we said we're gonna use you as soon as you're done with that. For the Publix, they were the first one to raise their hand, say they were ready to go. And you know what? We did it on a trial basis. I had 3 counties. I actually showed up that weekend and talked to seniors across 4 different Publix. How was the experience? Is this good? Should you think this is the way to go? And it was 100% positive, so we expanded it, and then folks liked it. And I can tell you, if you look at a place like Palm Beach County, they were kind of struggling at first in terms of the senior numbers. I met with the county mayor, I met with the administrator, I met with all the folks at Palm Beach County, and I said, here's some of the options. We can do more drive-through sites. We can give more to hospitals. We can do the Publix. We can do this. They calculated that 90% of their seniors live within 1.5 miles of a Publix. And they said, we think that would be the easiest thing for our residents. So we did that. And then what ended up happening was you had 65 Publix in Palm Beach. Palm Beach is one of the biggest counties, one of the most elderly counties. We've done almost 75% of the seniors in Palm Beach. And the reason is because you had the strong retail footprint. So our way has been multifaceted. It has worked. And we're also now very much expanding CVS and Walgreens now that they've completed the long-term care mission. Yes? And it's wrong. It's wrong. It's a fake narrative. I just disabused you of the narrative, and you don't care about the facts because obviously I laid it out for you in a way that is irrefutable. And so it's clearly not. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Yes, sir.
Absolutely rotten for this person to do that. What they did here was so detestable, in my opinion. I think it's so low. You know what I do on this show. Look, we represent a lot of people who've been charged with some pretty gruesome things. And I like to try to find favor in what people do in the world. I can typically make a pretty good argument and articulate something positive. This is just so bad. It is intentionally malevolent. I mean, this person went through and selectively picked out the video clips to create a narrative that he exactly disabused. He addressed it clearly. She says, so isn't it true that you've got this connection with Publix? They gave you $100,000 and you sort of opened up for them. He said, no, it's not true at all. We're working with Publix now, but we also tried CVS. We tried Walgreens. We tried Walmart. They were focused on LTCs, long-term care. We wanted to find an organization that was ready to rock and roll, something that was in close proximity to all these seniors. We started on a trial basis. We had a positive experience. So we started with 3 counties and 4 and then beefed it all up. And so we rolled it out. And so everything that she said was just a narrative, 100% a lie. And then they went in and edited out the clips in order to perpetuate that lie, knowing that this was so obviously recorded and it was just so dishonest. And then they ran it across the news all across this country. This is just one example. Really, how often is this going on? It just all the time, I would guess. Here's the difference. Here's the compare and contrast between the two. On the left is the fake news. On the right is the real news. Obviously, one is not like the other. This is an actual answer. 60 Minutes, garbage reporter Sharyn Alfonsi should be ashamed of herself, as should 60 Minutes. And I honestly don't know why anybody watches any of the news anymore because it's mostly fake at this point in time. All right, we got a couple questions in over here on locals, and let's chime in and see what we've got going on here. First one in the house says, could anyone even calculate the cost of what our nation has lost by big tech and the news media controlling the narrative? There is no way to measure the loss of confidence in our leadership. This includes Ron D. My heart was broken when I heard the 60 Minutes interview. I had always trusted this group. Yeah, so 60 Minutes, it's just like the others, right? They're all getting in lockstep, I think, with one another. It's too bad. We have News Now Wyoming says it's more apparent now, but this was always the case. Newspaper articles from the same newspaper would be different depending on the neighborhood it was delivered to. I suspect that, right? I can't imagine that if I lived 80 years ago that I'd wake up and go, hey, these news reporters are great. I'd probably be the same person back then, mad at some reporter or some journalist. But it's really bad. I mean, that example is so obvious. There are some examples, Trump was the victim of a lot of this for sure. The fine people stuff, the drinking bleach stuff, all of it. They just sort of they try to do this. This one was just obvious because it, like literally sentence by sentence, they pick that sentence out, they pick that sentence out, and that sentence out, and they just reassembled them to create a narrative when his answer was not like that at all. All right, next up, we've got Farmer's Daughter 4 says, Robert, I used to live in Florida and Publix is huge. They were chosen because they are larger than drugstores like Walgreens and CVS. So those are good reasons. Liberty or Death says, would love to see Publix file suit for defamation. Yeah, that would be good to see. Jeremy Matrita says, sounds more like the whole story is he didn't answer her questions the way she wanted him to. Well, he gave her a direct answer on that. There was no further need for an interview. He told her exactly what happened. Yeah, we started with all these companies. We scaled our way up. We did some trial runs. We have some data analysis that we did. 90% of our seniors in this county live within 1 mile of Publix. All right, this is the best fit. It's like what competent leadership looks like. And so they don't like that. So the purpose of her asking the question was not to get an answer. It was to get a soundbite that she could extract for her news story, which is exactly what she did. And so she picked out a couple different sentences, reassembled them in a way that made him look like a loser. And it's not true at all. And a lot of people watched it and a lot of people believe it. And it's very disingenuous. We have Bianca Realty says, Rob, so he gave public exclusive distribution along with Walgreens and CVS. The NW governor puts infected people in nursing homes. The MSM tries to go after my beautiful state that handled the virus very well and protects our civil liberties. There is no logic or middle ground with these people. Like he said, you are wrong. You are wrong. You don't care about the facts. Let's have unity. Let's just unify by making anyone who has different values look bad by any means necessary. Yeah, it's a good one, Bianca. And I will tell you, I do like Ron. You know, I'm not sure. You know, he's looking pretty good, by the way. He's looking a little slim, right? You notice that? He's getting a little bit of that tan glow. Wonder where he's pulling some of those tips from, huh? And he's slimming down a little bit. He's running for president. We already know that. And he's doing a good job with this coronavirus stuff, especially for the civil libertarians like you, Bianca. People are sort of tired of this stuff. We have Liberty or Death says, can we cover the Georgia election lawsuits? There are 4 lawsuits that have been filed so far. Tons of interpleaders and pro hoc vice. Looks like a big case, should be fun. I'll take a look at it, Liberty. If it's something that I can talk about, I'll talk about it. But YouTube has a policy specifically about this. It's a 2020 election community guidelines policy. So I get a little bit nervous. Obviously, I'm interested in those lawsuits, so I'll take a look at them. And if we can bring them on the channel, we will. We have Joe Snow says, I click the downvote and rarely watch for more than a minute. I don't like being lied to. It's hard to watch those. It's just like watching somebody read. I mean, I read on this show a lot. That's not really the interesting part of it, and I'm not particularly good at it. We got J-Bone says, should Publix move forward with a lawsuit against CBS? Yeah, I mean, potentially. Because she's claiming that there's this sweetheart deal. She just got disabused of that notion from Ron Desantis. If she continues to make that claim, yeah, maybe there should be some sort of civil suit against them. And lastly, the last one of the show comes over from Souls Under Siege, which is the name of a band, or should be the name of a band. If I started a band, that's a good name for it. This is why I commented earlier. There was no point calling out the hypocrisy and double standards. The agenda couldn't be more clear, and people need to be talking about solutions instead of pointing out the obvious. Our government has been so infiltrated, and we are all equally in danger. This is not about race and gender. Soul Under Siege, with a little word of warning, my friends. I don't disagree. I mean, I think that most of our institutions are on the ropes. Unfortunately. But that's okay. We don't need them. We really don't. People get all freaked out about the government. Oh, it's not working. Everything's a mess. Who cares? You know, most of the government is just leeching off of the rest of our happiness and well-being. And as long as we wake up every day, we connect with our loved ones, we connect with our friends and family, we wake up, we answer to our higher power, we reach out, we live our calling, we're passionate about what we do, we act of service to the world and to other people, then who cares what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are doing in Washington? Really. One way to think about it. All right, so that's it for the program, everybody. Want to say thank you to our supporters over at locals.com. Thank you to everybody who keeps the show rolling. We got Sharon Quidney, saw her today. Big hello to Ma Fox and Miss Faith Joy and Penny, who's still alive and well and with us. And one whole sock lighter today, which is good news. We also want to say hi to Jack Alaya. We've got The Mariner. We have _Shades in the house. We got Penny TIG. We got C The Veil. We have Carl. Say hi to Remark number 2, all supporting us over on Locals. And we had a whole slew of people sign up over the weekend. We're grateful that you are here. Let's say hello to everybody. I want to welcome Sovereign Knight, joined us over on Locals, our Watching the Watchers community. Mick Waffle, very delicious, in the house. We have FF Huggy. We have Jammo. We got Lisa Lemon, who signed up. We got Tony Ammo. We have It's Jelly in the house. We got Tweak, who signed up. We have TSPEV, and we have C Chicago, who all joined up. And if you want to be a part of the crew, head on over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com, and there's some pretty cool stuff that you can get when you join our community over there. First and foremost is a copy of my book. You can see it right here. It's called Beginning to Winning: How to Fight Your Case and Succeed in the Criminal Justice System. It's available for a free download over on our community, or you can buy it on Amazon if you want it. The slides Miss Faith is going to post over there. Those will be available. Also, impeachment party documents. I have my existence systems available right now for you to download. I spent all day Saturday shooting this course. I recorded, I think, 23 videos for this course, which brings the total to like 32 videos of part of my existence system course. It's a walkthrough, step by step, on how to fill out every one of these blocks and how to utilize the system that I'm a huge proponent of. So that's going to be coming out soon, like maybe by the end of the week. And I'm going to make that available. But the point is if you're on Locals, you can get this template right now. You don't have to wait. It's all over there, available right now, so you can go check that out. The course will be forthcoming, and there's probably going to be a pretty good promo code over there on Locals, I would guess. I'm not sure about that yet, but I would guess. You can also share some links with people and meet all of the great people. All of those questions that you saw coming in today all came from our lovely supporters at locals.com. There's a Watching the Watchers group over there, and so we'd invite you to go check that out. That's it from me, though, today. Before we leave, quick reminder, I am a criminal defense attorney here at the R&R Law Group. We're in Scottsdale, Arizona. We offer free case evaluation. So if you happen to know anybody who's been charged with a crime in the state of Arizona, we would be honored and humbled if you sent them our way. We'll take very good care of them. We have a mission to provide and help good people who have been charged with crimes safety, clarity, and hope in their cases and in their futures. And so we can help with anything. Anytime somebody's been in trouble with the law, we can help. Things like DUIs, domestic violence, drug crimes, misdemeanors, felonies, traffic violations, anything and everything in between. We can help you clear up old cases, so we can remove your mugshot off the internet. We can restore your right so you can possess a firearm, your right to vote, become a full citizen again, quash those old warrants, deal with any license issues, suspensions or anything like that. And so if you happen to know somebody who could use any of those services, any of that help, we love to help people. We have a strong passion for it. We have an awesome team of people here, and we're not too bad at it either. So if you trusted us enough to send somebody our way, we would be honored and humbled and grateful. And that's it for me. We're going to hop on Clubhouse right here for a little bit of time. So if you want to talk just for a little bit, head on over to Clubhouse. There's a link in the description below wherever you're watching this. Otherwise, I will be back here tomorrow. Same place, same time. It's going to be 4 p.m. Arizona time, which is Pacific time. So 4 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Arizona, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central in Texas, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Everybody, sleep very well. Hope you had a lovely dinner. If not, eat some food, get some rest, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.